friends. Sunday news. Wayne News, Sunday edition. Today, swatting number 34, April 2nd, 2023. Well, good news, friends. I got swatted, and I'm such a sheriff. They just call me now. Anything weird going on out there today, Wayne? Nope. About the guy who was shooting his gun all morning long. Like, they must have shot 500 rounds, and he probably blew $500 in fireworks. And a Razor's like a four-wheel drive golf cart, but it's gas, if you don't know. So no drama for me regarding that. My mom had some drama. She got swatted last night, and sadly, she got a call and a visit, and please, the people who are doing this, leave my mother alone. Karma says if you hurt my mother, somebody's going to kill your mother. You got me? So my mom is 73 years old. She could have a heart attack. And she's probably going to leave all the money to my brother. And I would like more time to convince my mother to give me my half. So are you trying to kill my mother so that my brother gets all the money? Is that what's going on? Is my brother behind it because he's trying to kill her so he can get the money? Probably. I really don't know what's going on. We apparently live in a world where it's not possible to trace phone calls. Absolutely impossible. Then we also live in a world where law enforcement can't go, has this ever happened before? Well, boss, we don't have a computer, so there's no way to find out. We'll just have to go over there and act like it's the first time. But I seem to remember going there before. Well, that's not certain. And since we don't have computers, there's no way to know. Really? I mean, at what, like if it was the sheriff's sister, would they be would they be swatting the sheriff's sister? Or if it was the chief of police brother, would he be swatted? I think the answer is no. If it was the FBI's mother, would she be getting swatted? And again, I think the answer is no. So at some level, this is I don't know, Democratic Party. My ex-girlfriend warned me if I didn't stop, she was going to kill me. She was going to do all kinds of nasty things to me. She wouldn't talk to the FBI, but I still don't know who's behind it. She's always made all kinds of dangerous threats to me, usually when she's drunk. So threats aren't real if you're like, whatever. But, swatting is attempted murder. They're hoping a new cadet will be on the force that day, and they'll be like, he's got a cell phone. Drop the cell phone. Bang, 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 bang. Why'd you shoot him? He had a communication device in his hand, boss. You're not supposed to shoot people with phones in their hand. Oh, really? You have, I think you have a definite degree of fallibility in all this drama because I think pragmatic enough person would simply go elsewhere. Copy. I'm not really sure what he's saying. The no-name person, you're not making any sense here. Rephrase that. This person says I should go somewhere else. Where else am I going to go? They were swatting me in San Francisco. They were attacking me at the last place I lived. They're attacking my friends and family. Don't put it on my shoulders. It's on the shoulders of the people who are making the prank calls. It's on the shoulders of telling all those people who tell me to suck bags of dicks on 4chan. It's on the shoulders of those fuckers who are making slanderous and liable videos on YouTube full of nothing but lies. You're attacking an innocent person, okay? These people I can sue for defamation. I'm not a politician. I'm not elected, okay? So you're just attacking an innocent civilian. So I'll be able to win if I can ever get any money to hire an attorney. But in the meantime, I have all these people putting a stick in my spokes. Well, I am winning by pressing forward. Look, I can't prevent anything. You're trolling me, no name. So I'm going to give you a timeout. You don't know it's hard. Have you been swatted 34 times? Have you had them pointing guns at you 11 times? Have you had the police at your home 22 times? I fear for my life every time they're here because I don't know who is here. The Riverside Sheriff's Office has 3,000 deputies, okay? They have a $500 million budget. They're unwilling to communicate with me. Unwilling. They won't tell me about any investigation, and it makes me think that they think I'm a suspect, okay? So they're not communicating with me. They're showing up. It takes them over an hour to get to my home. This isn't a small town, go 10 minutes across town to a place. They have to get on a freeway and drive 65 miles to come to my home. Luckily, they just call me now. Everything, yeah, everything's good. If I don't pick up the phone, maybe I'm outside working or doing something, or the battery's dead. It doesn't really happen. Battery dead, but sometimes, like today when I was working, I put the phone down and I was out doing all kinds of things. It's windy, can't hear things. Then they'll show up. You know, I could be doing something and have a hammer in my hand, and they startle me, Wayne, and I turn around with a hammer. He's like, he's got a hammer. Shoot him. There's so many innocent people on YouTube who are shot dead, doing nothing. It's crazy. We're living in a fucked up, crazy world where the justice system doesn't work. It only works for the people in power, like Biden, where his son can do drugs and hire prostitutes and be in weird, awkward photos with his underage niece. It's just a weird world. And like, they're prosecuting Trump, but nobody on Jeffrey Epstein's Lolita Express has been prosecuted. Ghislaine Maxwell is in prison now for selling children to rich people, but the people who bought the children, they're not going to New York on Tuesday. Okay, so we have a fucked up justice system run by fucked up people. It's just where we're at. All right, I'm going to go over to politically incorrect and read the filters first and then read some news. All right, there's 2 troons, there's 7 trans, 1 gay, 10 Jews, 1 pit bull, 4 police, 3 Bidens, 1 COVID, 1 Tate, 4 drone, 2 GPT, 2 Woods, 2 Golds, 3 Wall for Walmart, 5 shootings, 1 shoe, 8 Trump, and I have the word hit, hit, star. So like Chitwood, but it could also be shit. 15 of those. So I'll be skipping most of those. Oh, happy Easter, people. I'm going to the reply count. Oh, okay. She conceded. So she is gone. She is one spectacularly beautiful woman. It's very beautiful. She's gone. There's a bombing somewhere. Footage of bombing. Let's see where this bombing was. Looks like a civilian bombing. Russia. Oh, I think this is where the Russian journalist or American journalist got killed. Somebody's saying the U.S. economy is about to collapse. McDonald's is temporarily closing its U.S. offices this week as it prepares to inform corporate employees about layoffs. McDonald's is a huge franchise. It's just a huge franchise. No, that doesn't say the economy is about to crash. That has nothing to do with the economy. Hey, Racer X. Racer X, I hope you're not swatting my friends and family. All right. It's a picture of an American Indian. It says, so you're against immigration? Splendid. When do you leave? I love the American Indians. And it's a total tragedy what's happened to them, right? I think eventually the U.S. government murdered 200 American Indians, 200 million. That's a Holocaust right there. Why don't we give Black people their own reservations? You know, Black people want reparations, and we should give them a lot of money. Also, Blacks were not living in cities in Africa because that was the 1600s. There weren't cities. They were living on the land in tribes and in huts and doing what Africans did back then. So maybe we should give Africans some land as reservations. We should set aside some federal land to give to Black people so they can live on the land as they choose without conflict with the American government. Think about it. I just had this idea recently. Oh, swatting's a Zoomer game. Well, do you know who's doing it? You're too old for that. Okay. Top AI researcher warns everyone on Earth will die. Humanity is unprepared to survive an encounter with a much smarter artificial intelligence, shutting down the development of advanced artificial intelligence systems around the globe and harshly punishing those who violate the moratorium. And it's got a picture of the Terminator. Well, what we should be doing is using artificial intelligence in law, in the justice system. We should use artificial intelligence in government planning, but we're not. They're using it to make jokes and entertainment so far. I'm not sure to predict the stock market. It's a picture of cigarettes. Cigarettes. Is there a reason why they push back against cigarettes and tobacco so hard? It was widely accepted. Now there is like a crusade against it. Well, it does. The reason tobacco is causing cancer, and I just learned this in the last year, is the fertilizer and pesticides have radioactive material. And so that radioactive material makes its way into the leaf. Then you're smoking and burning radioactive material. That's why. So people weren't getting cancer before the invention of petrochemicals. So it's the petrochemicals and modern fertilizers that have fucked up tobacco. Oh, well. I smoked about 20 packs of cigarettes in my youth, and they were very hard to quit. Nicotine is, it's like a stimulant. I think it's a stimulant. It's kind of like coffee, but it does lead to bronchitis, and it diminishes your lung capacity because you have that tar on your lungs. It's generally not a good thing, especially if you're trying to be an athlete. I was trying to be an athlete, but too lazy. I'm the kind of guy who wants to run a 10-mile marathon, but quits at a 1 mile. So at least I'm honest with myself. How would I know, Mr. Wayne? Ask the sheriff. They literally have their numbers. Well, your name is Racer X, and there was a person who used to admit to the swatting named Racer X. So that's why I was asking you. Plank, Jonah, and Racer X were the people who were taking credit for the swatting. That's why I'm asking you. Yeah, gas is going to be $8 a gallon by summertime, probably. Fuck. So there's this sheriff in Florida named Chitwood, and somebody made some threats to him, and they arrested the guy. But so here's what I wrote. This guy never thought his life was in danger. Therefore, danger talk was just banter. There needs to be a reasonable level of fear that something was going to happen. And the sheriff in fear, because if the sheriff is in fear of his life, he should step down as sheriff. Okay. It goes like this. The sheriff goes, "Oh my God, somebody's going to kill me. Please protect me, FBI. Go do something. I was afraid I was going to die. I can't function anymore as sheriff." He's going to have to tell a jury of 12 that he was in fear for his life, and that's why he arrested that guy. It's ridiculous. This guy is an egomaniac, and he can't take any bants. He's sharing photos of himself he's cross-dressing. He's a cross-dresser. He's wearing women's clothing. He says, "Oh, it's a charity function. We raise lots of money." Cool. It's still funny you're dressing in women's clothing. We're allowed to make fun of you for that. That's not normal for a sheriff to go doing that. Now, maybe it is in Florida, but here in California, it's still not normal for sheriffs to be cross-dressing, wearing lipstick and big blonde curly hair wigs. Mm. Do you have views in real life? Well, I do. I don't care if I lose friends over it. They're not the friends I want to have. If if they disagree with me on different political topics, well, they're blind to the fucking truth. They're basically liberal Democrats. But I also don't feel the need to, with politically incorrect and 4chan, that's where I share my opinions and that's where I get feedback. So I don't need to burden my friends with my political ideas because that's what makes 4chan politically incorrect a great place, because it's a forum. It's a town hall meeting where we can discuss things that we find interesting. I don't always know the answer to political discussions, and I read what other people say, and then I have some general ideas, and then I'm like, oh, well, that's interesting. That's an interesting way to look at it. And politically incorrect replaces what the news used to offer, which was a balanced, they used to tell the story from both sides of the story. They were objective, and they left it up to the consumer or the viewer to make up their mind. Here's one about the Holocaust. The Holocaust happened. It did. 85 million people died in World War II. Okay. And what's 6 million minus 85 million? Well, that's 79 in World War II. 6 million Jews died and 79 million Christians died. So there's a Christian Holocaust. National divorce, dividing up the country by how they vote during the last presidential election, is retarded. And only 2 countries is not enough. Well, each state should say to their voters, would you like to secede from the Union? And if we secede from the United States of America, we'll create our own currency. It could be more, you might have more money for your labor. You're not going to have to pay federal income tax. Might be a good idea. Hey, Charles. Good afternoon to you here. Do women owe men sex? Let me rephrase that. Do men owe women working on their car and fixing things? Do men have to buy women dinner? Nope. Nobody owes anybody anything. Women are hornier than men. They're very sex driven. This is why you have a lot of single mothers. They're just fucking horny. They go out and have some drinks and fuck any guy. That's normal. If you want to fuck women at the bar, go to the bar at 11:30 at night. Don't go early. Wait till they're drunk. Then when you get to the bar, they'll be like, oh, finally a cute guy walked in. Then you can say, hey, can I buy you a drink? And they'll be like, yeah. I probably shouldn't have one, but yeah, because I'm already smashed. And then you got another 2.5 hours. Then when they close the bar, you can say, you want to take this party someplace else? What do you got in mind? Well, let's go to my house. Wayne, what is the best life? The best life is the one that works for you. It really is. Like, you choose what makes you happy. I see a lot of people working out at the gym, and I did that for a few years. I don't think I didn't enjoy myself. For them, that might be the best life. I read these ads of women on Bumble. Bumble is really, it's a gulag. for Democrats. There's a lot of ridiculous women in there. It's like the worst thing you've ever imagined. That women's expectation levels are through the roof. It's like it's so hard to describe. Um, but you see a lot of pink pussy hats in there. But for them, that's what, so they're trying a world that works for them. So, like tonight, I was thinking, I bet you it's already been created, a website for unvaxxed people. The biggest barrier I have with dating in this modern world is women who are vaccinated. I don't want to have anything to do with them because I think they're shedding spike proteins, and I think that could be dangerous to me. They're about to put mRNA on cattle and pigs. So I'm going to stop eating beef, pork, and chicken. I'm going to go to tuna fish and probably switch over to beans and rice because I'm that worried. Like, I don't trust these fuckers. I think they want us dead and they'll do anything to kill us, including contaminating the food supply. There's I don't know how this works, but mad cow disease. Mad cow disease is so bad they kill the animal and bury it, so you can't eat the meat, because if you eat the meat, you get the mad cow disease. So they could be putting something in our food supply that could kill us. It doesn't, not an expert here at all. So fear is driving my decisions. Better to be safe than sorry. As far, beans and rice is a pretty, it's a protein. I like burritos. I like chips and salsa. Canned tuna fish, and I don't think they're going to be able to. Is really delicious, actually. Part of me, I mean, I want to be halfway serious here. I sometimes am considering the moving to Alaska. You need a lot more money to live in Alaska because you got that 6 months out of the year where it's just brutal. And then what are you going to do for money in 6 months? So, but land is really affordable. And if you're a hermit like I am, all I really need is internet. So Elon Musk with Starlink is a revolutionary thing. It makes the world smaller instantly because you can have all the entertainment you've ever dreamed of. Yeah, Charles. Well, microplastic doesn't make itself into the meat, Charles. If you eat the liver, there might be like microplastic in there, but the liver is a filter. And I also don't have to eat fish, like rice and beans. Like, I could eat burritos forever. I don't want to, but I could. I like burritos. Sour cream. No name. I'm not sure why you're so concerned with being honest. Aren't you always honest? Or is just this tweet honesty? Because you didn't say to be honest in your other tweets. So are you dishonest in your other tweets? Take this as a learning lesson. Don't ever say to be honest, because it implies you've been lying. Any canned tuna you buy has microplastic in it. Look it up. Charles Smith, I don't believe you. Yeah, I like Hawaii, by the way. Hawaii's not so bad. I like snow. And I like the idea of, I like a forest, and I like the seasons, and I like nature. And Hawaii doesn't have necessarily that version of it for me. And then Hawaii is a very much a two-class society, extreme rich and really lower middle class or uh, upper class poor. Charles, there's just nothing. Why don't you post an article, Charles? I'm not going to look it up. I don't believe you, Charles. I think you're trolling me. I think you're lying. Okay. So I just don't believe you. No, it wouldn't be feasible because there's no water here. And the moment I moved, all those trees will die. Like there was trees here in the 70s and 80s, and now they're dead. There, a few of them are barely living because those roots somehow got enough water, but they're not thriving. One of them was like, it looks like an oak or so, and it's probably 30 feet tall, but only one branch towards the bottom is living. All the other branches are just dead. Oh, you live in the Appalachia, and basically we're all shed people out here. Nothing wrong with shed life. I mean, it's easy for me to say because I've lived a luxurious life. I've had nice places, and I could care less. It's to afford all that lifestyle, and it's just not worth it to me. I have more joy putzing around my home, doing what I like doing, which is building things, um, just kind of like just building things and thinking and watching. I spend a few hours every day learning new things, new exotic technologies, communicating with a few friends. Um, Today, I have one of the lids to a tote. There was a pool of water from the recent rain and some dust, some dirt. And I looked at it, so much gold. I'm like, what? Like, I'm going to go scrape this off and put this in a little container. There was literally so much powdered gold stuck to this lid. And gold is just here everywhere. I need to get a shaker table. A shaker gold. Oh, it's a little dragonfly. Maybe I can get it. Hey, hop on my finger, buddy. Get you on the internet. He's flying around. Something else to investigate is building my own. So those are things I like to do. Like a shaker table is, it's like this, and you put your ore or the stuff you think it has gold up here, and then there's water, and it goes like this. And the gold goes to one side, and the non-gold goes to the other. And then eventually, it's basically an advanced form of panning. Mount Baker Mining and Minerals. This guy named Jason, he's got a great channel. So I got to get my shit together. I got to do at least a little bit of sampling of gold panning here, and just to share with you like how much gold is in this rock. Let me just show you some quartz rocks. So here's the side that's been at the sun, and here's the bottom. And I tried to show you, but you can't see it. But I can see gold right now. It's flake. And I mean, literally, this could be 2 pennies. That might not sound like much, but it's everywhere. So when I go for my walks, here's another one, quartz. and there's an iron mine here, and there's lava rock. So I live at a place where there was previous volcanic activity, and there's just amazing mineralization. There's just some amazing rocks here. It's no name. There's 2 people watching. It's safe to assume nobody's trolling. You're ridiculous, dude. You're trolling me. Um, the way I know somebody's not trolling is just being respectful, things like that. Oh, I get trolled pretty hard. The comments, sometimes people just leave the rudest comments. Was my fun fact about the Ice Age somehow an attempt to get a rise out of you? Oh, I didn't even read it yet. During the Ice Age, Canada was beneath 2 miles of ice, so no trees at all. Canada has tons of trees now. The Earth changed so much. Well, I'm going to say before the Ice Age, Canada had trees. Would you agree? Well, and 12 or 14,000 years ago was the Great Flood, and all the trees of the earth got ripped up. The whole earth got turned on its axis. What that means is, let me do a drawing. That's the North Pole and that's the South Pole. That's the equator. Within an hour, the Earth went like this, and now the equator is here. And so the ice of the North Pole was at the hot climate, and this now became ice, and that became ice. And at the equator is a 3-mile bulge of water. So roughly 90% of the Earth dies, is what they say. Are there trees under the 3 miles of ice at Antarctica right now? The answer is yes. Are they alive? No, they're frozen. There's probably a whole jungle under the ice at Antarctica that look creepy and weird, like they're extraterrestrial. I've seen just columns. I've seen buildings that could be similar to a Roman, Greek, and Egyptian. Yeah, Bird. Well, here's what I think happened with Admiral Byrd. He went into a he did time travel. So he was flying, and so I think there is an amazing magnetic vortex, and that equals a wormhole, and he wormholed to another location that was warm. Because it was icy and cold when he took off, and when he landed, not under his own control, because he was in the tractor beam of the wormhole and landed, it was 80 degrees or something. So kind of, we've heard stories about the Bermuda Triangle. There's one story, the guy's in a twin engine like Cessna, and he's flying maybe from Bermuda to Florida, and it should take him an hour and a half, but he got there in 11 minutes. So he must have entered a magnetic vortex that zipped him there. Did you guys, well, you might not have seen this. Let me find this artwork I did this morning for my mom. I wouldn't call it artwork, but they're drawings. Okay. So the purple one, okay, first of all, this is a spacecraft flying around a moon around Jupiter, and the moon is called Garamond, something like that. So there's a spacecraft that emitted an FM signal, frequency modulation, like FM radio, and it was 6 seconds long. 1001, 1002, 1003, 1004, 1005, 1006. That's a pretty big signal. So it looks like a wedding band here with a marble in it, perfectly round, not oval like this. Then it looks torn apart. So something entered this way and blew out part of the material. And so they think it's an old spacecraft. They have no idea how old it is. And I think we just got a picture of it. It's the picture's purple and green. And so they just, I published the link to it in X. I'll publish the link again so you can read up on this. Here's the link. Do you, Bad Idea says, do you need to be in a cave or would an RV in the mountains be good? I would take the RV, I think. Let me answer that two ways. If money is spent on the RV, let's say it's 10,000 on the RV, I might actually want to take 10,000. But let me just say this, motorhomes, at least here in California, can be gotten for free. I see one free motorhome a month on Craigslist. And the way to obtain this motorhome is to have it towed. So I could have had 3 motorhomes on my property right now obtained for no cost if I could afford to have it towed here. I just don't have the money. And I could put those motorhomes in a circle and turn it into a trailer park and just rent those motorhomes out like an Airbnb. They call it glamping. It's a, oops, am I bleeding? I am. Don't worry about it. It's just people spending the weekend in a motorhome. Okay, Racer X, have a good night. Have any lost time incidences? No. I recently found that I don't conduct electricity the same way as others. Well, I'm an electricity expert, and our body is, water doesn't conduct electricity. Water plus salt is conductive. So our bodies have a lot of salt in it and water, so we all are conductive. We're kind of like we're all like the same copper wire. So I'm going to respectfully disagree with you. Caves are what makes caves interesting is that as long as they're dry. So if you're going to live in a cave, you need to build a superstructure within it, some reinforcements so the roof doesn't come down. And sometimes they put in bolts and a chain link fence. I don't think that's good enough. I would want to have timbers in there. what is your view on synchronicity? Um, I'm not sure what you mean by synchronicity. Could you explain a little bit more, Space Shuttle? You had 180 ohms of resistance and nobody else had any. Again, I'm going to respectfully disagree. We all have a level of resistance. No resistance is a superconductor. Okay, so everything has resistance except for superconductors. I love how stupid this is. This is what I think of tattoos. Tattoos aren't for me. I've had my feet soaking in Epsom salts. Feels good. Let me go over to politically incorrect and see if there's any more reading here. If you didn't hear, many oil producing nations, starting with Saudi Arabia said it's going to cut its oil production by 1 million barrels a day, and they pump normally 10 million barrels. So they're cutting their production percent. So they're trying to drive up the price, and it's probably going to push up the price, or they're suspecting a slowdown in the economy because of economic circumstances, because people won't have money. So they just don't want to pump as much oil to maintain current prices. So that could also be true. I don't really know the answer. I'm just guessing. Justin Trudeau. Anybody else happy with the job he's doing? I'm not. I don't like him at all. I think he's a bad guy. Imagine not. It's a bodega. Imagine not being able to head down to your local bodega at 1 a.m. and get a chopped cheese with an Arizona. A bodega is like a local convenience store run by usually one person. The owner works there usually. And they're in cities like New York and Philadelphia. There's a few in San Francisco. I used to buy my beer from the guy, and sometimes they didn't have money, and he gave me credit. I wish they would quit posting Chitwood. I'm getting tired of this guy. He's got a great smile, but he's just so unattractive, and he seems like such a douchebag. Oh no. What's the smart play here? My cat had a miscarriage, then got an infection, and I had to go to the vet or she would die. So I made it seem like I had the money to pay. So they saw her. Then they billed me $900 for a spaying. Oh man. Let's read this. The vets are like crooked cops or crooked car mechanics. For a spaying and antibiotics and some other things, I didn't really catch what they said, and that's how I revealed, I revealed that I had no money. They got really mad, but finally, after 45 minutes, they gave me the cat, and I left. And they said, if I don't pay the bill, I'll go to court. So, what's the smart play here? I only make $10,000 a year, and no way I'm giving them 10% of my yearly income for a spay and antibiotics, etc. They're far than I am, and I should have just done it for free. The owner of the place is probably a multimillionaire, so what will happen if I just don't pay? Then they're gonna take me to court, then either I don't show up to court or yeah, then you'll lose by default, and then they'll get a judgment, and then your credit will be ruined, and, they'll try to attach your wages. Then you can file bankruptcy and then not pay them. But your mistake was taking your cat to the vet. That's your mistake. I mean, cats are cute, but uh, you should have said something like this: I can't afford it. You should have been honest. So you started this problem with the cat by being dishonest. You should have said, "Oh, I love my cat, but I can't afford this. How much does it cost to put my cat to sleep?" And they'll be like, "Oh, well, we won't do that because this cat, we can save the cat. Its life isn't in danger, but I can't afford the money." They'll be like, "Okay, we got a sliding scale. Can you give us $50?" And you might have said, "Okay, I could do that." And they'll be like, "Okay, we're gonna fix your cat for you." That's how I would have played it. Space shuttle on synchronicity. Synchronicity is like bizarre coincidences in life that are extremely improbable to happen. But synchronicity sounds like it's happening to somebody else. So if I say, I had a dream with a cat that had white fur flying over my house in a jet, a fighter jet, and it had a dog on the roof. Yeah, I had the same weird dream. Is that what you're talking about? Where two people have the same thought? We basically had this voltmeter and we were testing it by zapping ourselves with it. It would zap me, zap everyone else, 180 ohms resistant to me. We tested it all night, worked on everyone else. Never. Well, I'm not sure that sounds very scientific, actually. So, was there drinking involved? Well, space shuttle, for me to have synchronicity, I'd have to have friends, right? I'd have to have like conversations with people. Last night I was drinking beers and I wanted a red Ferrari. Ooh, my body's hurting. These bugs are annoying. So I've got like a turkey, a thing that you cook the turkey in, and it's full of Epsom salt water. That water's been there for like 2 months. It went down, so I just added more. Just put my feet in there and let them soak. Feels great. Oh, God, there's so many chitwoods. Oh, it's not necessary. It is kind of bad news about Susie. It's not bad news about her. Well, it kind of is, but I'm not going to date her. I can't. Um, she told me that was like weird, and she thought her dog ate some drugs on the. That's a bad decision, and it just leads to more bad them because they were. That's fair. Mm. Oh, it's my old friend. I'm not going to talk to him. I'm there for this guy all the time. Well, I'm not sure if there's anything else more to talk about here on Politically Incorrect. Let me hit refresh. We'll see if there's any more. I'm not seeing it, friends. Hey, Yellow. It's the end of my show. Anything you guys want to talk about before I hang this up? I need some donations. I'm having money problems. I got about another month of money, and after that, no money for a phone. No more videos. It's looking pretty ugly. I'm hoping that I can sell some stuff and get myself out of this jam, but my life is on fire, kind of. Anyways, I got a donate button in the description here for my Cash App, and there's a Bitcoin. If you guys can spare any money, if you want to loan me some money, my email is lambright@gmail. I'll put that here. Tell me how much